Namaste and welcome, dear friends, to today's Bhagavad Gita class. Let us begin our class with a prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, Friend, Beloved God, Bhagwan Krishna, Jesus Christ, Mahavatar Babaji, Lahiri Mahashai, Swami Shri Yukteswarji, Beloved Gurudev Paramhansa Yoganandaji, Saints and sages of all religions, humbly we bow at thy feet. Beloved Lord Krishna, thou art the essence of everything. Help us to feel thee in every fiber of our being, in every thought and emotion. Beloved Lord, awaken our heart and bring us home. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let us now invoke the presence of the Gurus and sing a chant. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Triguna-rahitam Sadgurum Tvam Namami. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva Bandhu cha Sakha Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. O thou King of the infinite, O thou King of the infinite, I behold thee in Samadhi, I behold thee in Samadhi, in joy and in no joy, in thy light of mellow joy, in joy and in no joy, in thy light of mellow joy. O thou King of the infinite, O thou King of the infinite, I behold thee in Samadhi, I behold thee in Samadhi, in joy and in no joy, in thy light of mellow joy, in joy and in no joy, in thy light of mellow joy. O thou King of the infinite, O thou King of the infinite, I behold thee in Samadhi, I behold thee in Samadhi, in joy and in no joy, in thy light of mellow joy, in joy and in no joy, in thy light of mellow joy. O thou King of the infinite, O thou King of the infinite, I behold thee in Samadhi, I behold thee in Samadhi, in joy and in no joy, in thy light of mellow joy, in joy and in no joy, in thy light of mellow joy, in joy and in no joy, in thy light of Let us take a few moments in silence and feel the joy of just being. We all exist in this moment. We are all conscious of our existence. And let us acknowledge the bliss of our own being. All the experiences of life and all the pleasures that we receive from this life are mere reflections of the bliss of our own soul. In this moment, we are conscious of our blissful existence, beyond form, beyond name, beyond personality. I am that I am, ever new joy. Om. Welcome, my dear friends, to the 49th class of the Bhagavad Gita. We are studying chapter 6. In the last class, we covered from shloka number 13 to 18. Let's do a quick revision before we move on to shloka number 19. So, mostly in this chapter, Krishna is speaking to Arjuna, and this is what he says in shloka number 13. Firmly holding the spine, neck, and head erect and motionless, let the yogi focus his eyes at the starting point of the nose and let him not gaze around in various directions. So, of course, the meditative pose has been explained here, and the position of the eyes has been explained here, and it has been said that the point of the starting of the nose, which is the point between the eyebrows, and clearly Krishna is saying, let him not gaze here and there. In shloka number 14, Krishna says, with serenity and fearlessness, with steadfastness in brahmacharya, with the mind controlled, with no thought with all thoughts centered on me, the yogi should sit meditating on me as the final goal. So as we discussed in the last class, brahmacharya, of course, has many levels of meanings. One common understood meaning is the practice of steadfast celibacy. And the other level of meaning is that behavior which is in synchronicity with Brahman, means practicing the yamas and the niyamas and the pranayams, the Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga mark, that is also Brahma, practicing that is going towards brahmacharya in a sense. And also Master said that Om, the sound of Om, the cosmic sound of Om is a representation of Brahman, is a representation of God. And by merging into that sound of Om, also we are practicing brahmacharya. So at one level, we can chant the word Om. At the another level, we can actually listen to the sound of Om through the technique of meditation like Om technique. And at the final level, we can actually merge with that sound of Om. And that mergence with the sound of Om is the brahmacharya. Another thing that has been mentioned here is the fearlessness. And so how do we become fearless? A very simple solution has been given by Mahavatar Babaji, by Sri Krishna in this the Bhagavad Gita itself, where he says, even a little bit practice of this inner religion will free you of dire fears and colossal sufferings. So if we want to be fearless, then the way is to go on the spiritual path. The way is to make God your goal, or to make the self your goal, and go towards self-realization with all that you have. And then you will find that as you progress in your spiritual journey, your fears will start to just leave their hold on you, and you will become more and more fearless. And fearlessness is the mark of a true devotee. It's the mark of an advanced spiritual person as well. In shloka number 15, Krishna says, the self-governed yogi, he whose mind is fully under control, thus engaging his soul in ceaseless meditative union with spirit, attains the peace
of my being, which is nirvana. So then he is saying that if you do all these things, if you meditate, if you control your mind, and if you control your senses, if you are in brahmacharya, or in sync with the Brahman, then what are you going to attain? What you are going to attain? Eternal peace. You're going to attain nirvana, and that is the goal of all of the spiritual aspirants, because all spiritual aspirants want to go beyond all suffering of this world, whether it is an obvious overt suffering or a covert suffering. Sometimes we think life is good, but suddenly things can change overnight. And so eventually this world is a world of suffering, because every pleasure is balanced by pain, every success is balanced by failure. And because in this dual world, a time comes when you have tried everything, you have tested everything, you have you calm, earth and dharma you've already tried, and now you want to go towards moksha. And this is what Krishna promises, that if you do follow this path, then this will take you to nirvana. In shloka number 16, Krishna says, O Arjuna, the gormand, the scanty eater, the person who habitually oversleeps, the one who sleeps too little, none of these will find success in yoga. So herein he brings in the balanced approach to life. Neither overeating will help, nor undereating, nor oversleeping, nor undersleeping, because all of these will have their own side effects. All of these will keep us body bound, and eventually we have to go beyond the body into the consciousness of formlessness. So therefore we must stay in the middle and then go forward on the spiritual journey. And this bhav continues in the next shloka. In shloka number 17, Krishna says, he who with proper regularity eats, relaxes, works, sleeps, and remains awake will find yoga, the destroyer of suffering. So one thing clearly he is saying, that yoga is the destroyer of suffering. And for people who are new, when we say yoga is the destroyer of suffering, we are not saying yoga as in hatha yoga or as in some physical asanas. When we say yoga, we mean the science of union of soul and spirit, uniting your atman with the Paramatman. All the paths that lead to this goal are also called yoga, like bhakti, like jnana, like dhyan or raja yoga and karma yoga. So yoga is union, and that union, Krishna says, is going to destroy your suffering, and that is what we want. But then again, he says that you have to be regular and disciplined and moderate with your eating, with your sleeping, with all your activities, with your relaxation, with your remaining awake and work also. And in the deeper metaphysical sense, what Yogananda ji explains about this shloka is that when we are talking of eating, working, relaxing, it's all related to the breath. So eating is the taking in of oxygen at the physical level from the breath, or taking in of the prana from when you do the pranayama, as in you control the astral energy. Then when you take in the energy out of that, that is astral eating. And basically balancing the incoming breath with the outgoing breath, the prana with the apan, which this relaxes the breath completely. And that is the relaxation that is being talked about. The being awake that is being talked about is being awake from the dream that this world is a true world. So, and understanding that the entirety of this world is actually, there is no truth about it, which holds it together. The truth is beyond the world. So whoever can see, remove the veil of hypnosis, the veil of ignorance, which makes you believe that this world is real, that will take you to the final truth. Now you may say and think that, of course, this world is real. Look at the suffering around, look at everything around. So from our transactional state of affairs, it does appear to be real. Pain definitely hurts. And if I knock my hand over a hard object, my hand will definitely hurt. But the final truth is that this is a motion picture, in the sense all electrons are continuously moving moment to moment, and all those things that appear to be even solid bodies are not solid. They are moving electrons. Same is that water that appears liquid is not necessarily as liquid as we think it is. So we have ice, and we have liquid water, and we have steam. Now these appear to be very different realities, but the truth is they are made of the same same hydrogen and oxygen molecules, only apparently they appear to be different. And so the truth is behind the variety. So of course, at the transactional level, there appears to be pain and suffering. All of this appears to be real. But all those who have been able to go beyond this continuous motion into the absolute stillness of their Atman, they can say, they are the ones who can actually say that, yes, this is a motion picture. Also, it appears, if you look back to in your life, think about your childhood. Does it appear real to you, or does it appear like a dream? Think about 5 years ago. Does it appear real to you, or do you think it was like a dream? Think about 5 days ago. Think about yesterday. Think about today morning. Does it really have some concrete basis to it, or does it appear like a dream to you right now? So, and the future, of course, is an imaginary thing. So it is based on a figment of the imagination of the creator. That's what the scriptures say. But for us to realize, and all those great ones who can go beyond this state of delusion. For example, Ramakrishna Paramahansa, he had cancer of the throat. So did he suffer physically? Apparently, yes, he could not even eat food. He was in pain a lot of time. There was pus oozing out of his, the sore and so on. So it was like a pathetic scene from the outside. But then, one of his disciples who was sitting next to him, that no, Ramakrishna started to complain to him that, oh, I have so much pain and, I like this. So, but the disciple said, but master, I think you are in ecstasy. And Ramakrishna said, oh, he has caught me. So there is a plane of existence, which even though you can see the suffering of the body, yet you can be unaffected by it. Now, that is the place we all want to be. And that is when going to that place will we realize that, yes, this world is actually a dream. And of course, the Upanishads compare this waking reality with the dream reality of our own dreams and say that this is false. Now, by regular meditation, by talking about the truth, by listening the truth, by reading it, by practicing meditation, we can actually make it a first-hand experience and realize that this world is an ever-changing motion picture, and that we are beyond it. We are that perfect absolute stillness. We are the witness consciousness. We are the Satchidananda. And that is why we all need to strive more regularly in a more disciplined manner, because we all want to be there. Okay, so shloka number 18, when the feeling is absolutely subjugated, the chitta is subjugated and is calmly established in the self, the yogi, thus devoid of attachment to all desire, is spoken of as God united. So devoid of attachment to all desire. So we live in this world and we find things attractive or unattractive, and we have likes and dislikes, and we develop desires for things that we like. And so if fulfilling some desire in this world gives me some level of pleasure and satisfaction, why should I not desire? Because it's only when you rise to the wisdom where you know that the pleasure that you are gaining out of the fulfillment of the desire will soon go away. In fact, it will maybe be replaced by pain, and you will never find peace. And on the other hand, as you grow in your meditative practice, you are tasting the bliss of your own soul, which is much higher than the pleasure that you gain from desires. So it becomes easy for you. Gaining wisdom and gaining meditative experience helps you to just let go of desires, because you get to know that they are no use at all. They are very, very petty. So unless a person does have that higher wisdom and does taste this higher bliss, it is not easy for people to give up their desires. We can look at our own lives, we can look at everybody around us. And just for an additional thing here, because as parents, we think our children have desires and these are the things they should not do this, they should not do that. Even other people in the family or friends we may think of, unless they are given a higher level of understanding, wisdom, or joy, how will they leave their clinging and clasping to the lesser pleasures that they are receiving from this world? When we cannot, then how can they? So the simple thing is to try and be an example of a higher understanding and of a higher bliss. Show to others through your own life that by practicing meditation, that by reading the scriptures, by having a spiritual, disciplined, meditative life, life does improve, pain does decrease. So once they are able to see it in your life, then only they would like to emulate. Just by merely telling them not to do certain things is not going to help. So our main focus should be first to increase the light within our own soul. So let our light shine bright, and then others will follow by example. Okay. So this brings us to the next shloka. So shloka number 19. यथा दीपो निवातस्थो नेयगते सोपमा स्मृता योगिनो यत्त चित्तस्य युञ्जतो योगमात्मना। वायु रहित स्थान में स्थिर जलने वाली लौ का उदाहरण उस योगी के संबंध में प्रयुक्त किया जा सकता है जिसने आत्मा पर ध्यान द्वारा अपने चित्त पर विजय प्राप्त कर ली है। The illustration of an unflickering flame of light in a windless spot may be used in reference to a yogi who has conquered his feeling or chitta by the practice of meditation on the self. So this is a beautiful example. Now think of an unflickering flame. Now, so the room has to have no wind at all. And only then, if you light a candle, the flame will not move and it will be bright and it will make the whole room lit up. Now think of a gush of wind entering through a window. So what happens? The flame starts to flicker, the light starts to be dimmed, and there is always the fear that it will blow out, right? And also the wax, it starts to use up wax more fast. So if we close the window, again, the serenity of the flame of the candle is maintained. The room starts to glow. The height of the flame and everything tends to be maintained. Now imagine and visualize that such a flame is present in your own heart, or it is present at the spiritual eye, whichever is easy for you. You may visualize that there is a flame in your heart or at the spiritual eye. Now, whenever a thought comes, a thought wave comes, or a feeling wave comes, you have an emotion arising in you or a thought coming, that flame starts to move, it starts to flicker. Now, not just one thought, you are having hundreds of thoughts at the same time. So one thought coming, the other thought, many more cross thoughts coming. Each thought that you're having in the awake state will bring out subconscious memories. So those will also come up. Associated feelings will also come up. So in the lake of your mind, there are so many ripples. So in the stillness of, let's say in the room of your mind, that flame cannot be stable. So if you want to stabilize the flame which is in your heart or your mind, then you have to remove the thoughts and the emotions that are arising. Those are the gusty storms that come into your mental room. So by the practice of meditation, by the practice of yoga, you have to come to the point where no thoughts are arising in your mind, because any thought, associated emotion, all that will be like a gust of wind or a storm which does not allow the light in your heart or mind to be stable. And how do we reach to that point where we are not having any thoughts in the mind? And some people may say, don't you feel dead when you have no thoughts in your mind? No, you feel more alive. You are not your thoughts. You are the witness of your thoughts. And that is where yoga will take you. Most of us think we are the thoughts that we are, that we are these thoughts, we are this personality, we are the feelings that we are feeling, we are this body. No, no, and no. You are beyond the body, beyond the breath, beyond the emotions, beyond the thought. So, therefore, by meditative practice, you have to come to the point where you are able to witness all of these things. When you come to the point of pure awareness, which is like the candle flame, now it is your duty to keep it quiet and stable. And by the practice of techniques like Kriya Yoga, by the practice of prana control, and prana control is possible only if you've been living a spiritual life. You have been living a sattvic life, only then it is easy for you to control your prana, only then it is easy for you to control the mind. So you control your prana and mind to the extent that the flame in your heart of pure awareness, of soul perception, is maintained and it is shining a glow. And because your soul is shining, it is of its natural effulgence. And therefore, it fills your body and mind and it spreads beyond your body and mind. And like the omnipresence, that light is shining. So it is, we must bring it to that stillness and we must hold it. Now, this takes a lot of effort. It takes a lifetime of discipline. It takes a lifetime of yoga practice. But do we want to go there? Yes, yes, and yes. We've already spent so many thousands and millions of lifetimes, what the scriptures say, roaming around in this forest, in this jungle of the world, where we little sense pleasures keep calling upon us. We keep falling in the trap. We create more and more karma. Then we have to come and redeem those results, and the cycle goes on and on and on. But now we want to come to our own light, a light that is eternal, a light that is infinite, and a light which is in our own being. And therefore, all the yoga paths we must follow diligently so that we can come to this point. Okay. A yogi who guards the flame of peace from the momentary desires and innate likes and dislikes arising from uncontrolled restlessness in his chitta discovers in that tranquil light the secret presence of God. Beautiful words by Master, as always. Okay, now we come to shlokas number 20 to 23. They are taken together because they are in continuity. So I will read all the four in Sanskrit first, then in Hindi, and then in English. Shloka number 20. Yatro paramate chittam nirudham yoga sevaya yatra chaivatmanatmanam pashyanatmani tushyati. 21. Sukham atyantikam yattad buddhigraya matindriyam veti yatra na chaivayam sthitaschalati tatvatah. 22. Yam labdva cha param labham manyate nadhikam tata yasmin sthato na duken gurunapi vichalyate. Number 23. Tam vidada dukh sanyog viyogam yoga sanghitam sanishchayena yoktavyo yogo anirvinchayatasa. Now in Hindi. चित्त की पूर्ण शांति की वह अवस्था जो ध्यान योग द्वारा प्राप्त होती है, जिसमें अहम स्वयं को आत्मा के रूप में अनुभव करता है और आत्मा में स्थित रहता है. 21. वह अवस्था जिसमें जागृत अंतर ज्ञान युक्त बुद्धि द्वारा इंद्रियातीत अनंत आनंद का ज्ञान होता है और जिस अवस्था में स्थिर रहकर योगी पुनः कभी च्युत नहीं होता. 22. वह अवस्था जिसे एक बार प्राप्त करने पर योगी उसे अन्य सभी निधियों से परे मानता है. इसमें स्थित रहकर वह बड़े भारी दुख से भी विचलित नहीं होता. उस पीड़ा रहित अवस्था को योग कहा जाता है. इस कारण योग का अभ्यास दृढ़ प्रतिज्ञ तथा अटल रहकर करना चाहिए. In English. 20. The state of complete tranquility of the feeling, chitta, attained by yoga meditation, in which the ego perceives itself as the soul and is content in the self. Number 22. The state in which the sense transcendent immeasurable bliss becomes known to the awakened intuitive intelligence and in which the yogi remains enthroned, never again to be removed. The state that once found, the yogi considers as the treasure beyond all other treasures. Anchored therein, he is immune to even the mightiest grief. That state is known as yoga, the pain-free state. The practice of yoga is therefore to be observed resolutely and with a stout heart. So beautiful. So clearly Krishna is saying, do you want to be pain-free? Yes, then please practice yoga with a stout heart, with resolution. Know it to be the state beyond all pain and suffering. It is a treasure beyond all treasures. It is a gain having which no gain is greater. It is a knowledge having which no knowledge is greater. So we all want to be there, and therefore we must make the effort to be there. Now, it is very interesting that everybody wants sukha, happiness, and nobody wants dukha. But how many people are actually asking themselves, how am I going to get out of dukkha and go into sukha? What is the pathway? Am I really, and many people know also, theoretically people know what to do, but how many are walking on that path? How ironical is that? So many people are there who say, I want knowledge, I want immortality, and I don't want ignorance, and I don't want to die. But then how many people who are saying this are actually working to go towards immortality and go towards that higher wisdom? So do you also want to just listen to these truths and let it be a theory and let the book back on the shelf? Or are you going to make the supreme effort of actually going towards immortality, or knowing we are all anyway immortal? It's just that we don't understand it. We are all immortal souls. None of us can die. As souls, we are eternal, we are infinite. But how many of us actually want to experience that firsthand? Unless we experience it firsthand, this book is just a theoretical, it's a hypothesis. So therefore, make it alive. Be that warrior. Not like Arjuna. So Krishna is saying to Arjuna, be the warrior. You've got to kill the vices. You've got to gain your spiritual strength. You have to be disciplined. And then you must practice yoga. Control your mind. Control your energy. Raise your prana. Go into the core of your body. Come to the point between the eyebrows. Isolate yourself from the world. And then meditate upon me. Think about me. So how many of us are actually doing that? Or are we just talking and wasting our time, or we are busy with lesser pleasures? We have so many other desires to fulfill, but at the same time, we only imagine we want to go beyond suffering. Most of us are so clinging that we even cling to suffering. We think if there is no suffering, then what about my life? It's going to be empty. No, there is a bliss beyond this normal transactional existence. A bliss that we all want, a bliss that our soul already knows. And that is why we rush towards it. That is why we are yearning for it. But are we really working for it is the question. And each one of us, as Master says, or Sri Yukteswar said in the autobiography of a yogi, that saints are not, no, they're not developed in batches. They don't graduate in batches. It's each one singly. Each one of us has to make the supreme effort of one-to-one knowing God, of going towards our own self-realization. And the only way to reach that infinite is within our own self. We have to turn inside. Master's self-realization is, of course, a blessing for us. He is sending his grace. He is giving us his good karma. But eventually, we have to walk on the path that he is showing. We have to fight all those battles. So, and fight them resolutely, fight them with enthusiasm. Always know God is with you. Keep calling Krishna on your side. You will find that all those obstacles are nothing but opportunities to grow spiritually, to evolve, to gain strength, to become more expansive, to know that you are not this mortal body and mind. You are omnipresent consciousness. That gulf has to be crossed from the little I thinking, oh, I'm this little limited person, to saying, I, the infinite consciousness. It can be done, and it must be done, and eventually it is the destiny of all to reach there, because it is our true nature. Okay. So a couple of things that are here in these 4 shlokas, and of course Master explains that there are 4 states of concentration and 4 states of going towards that bliss, or go towards that yoga. Is for the first is that when we are meditating, we have fleeting glimpses of some bliss, of some happiness. And then as we go more and more concentrate, then we find that eventually at bliss we can, at will we can enter that state of bliss. At will we can go into the ecstasy of Savikalpa Samadhi. And then beyond that, also even in activity then comes the stage of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, where a person on the outward is doing all the activities of the world, but yet he is awake to the one continuous, omnipresent, absolute consciousness that he himself is. So he may appear to a normal person as just another body and mind, but yet in himself he knows who he really is. And all those who are in tune with such a consciousness will also start to gain the benefit, and their consciousness will also be raised. Okay. Then I'll just read what Master says, a couple of more things about him. He also says that, of course, as we have labeled these stages, he says there is no clear demarcation of these stages of development. There is a lot of overlapping, and so sometimes the blessedness you may feel is very, very fleeting. Sometimes you may have very deep feeling of ecstasy, and sometimes you will have savikalpa very quickly, and for then many months you will not have that experience, and eventually going into nirvikalpa. So there are phases, and there are overlapping of these phases. So there are no clear-cut demarcations. We should not put in the box, ideas that, okay, now once I have attained this blessedness, so you have, and especially the newcomers have higher chance of kind of feeling that ecstasy and bliss. Suddenly they have experiences in meditation, and then soon after a plateau phase can come where you don't feel anything. But then are you going to stop your practices? No. That is the time. The plateau phase is the time, which is the testing time, that are you consistent? Are you persistent? Are you doing what Krishna is saying? Are you doing what the Guru is saying? Because it is the promise of the scripture, it is the promise of the Guru that the promised land will come. If we go into the story of Moses and the story of Exodus, actually the promised land, which is the Old Testament, so it took them 40 years to reach the point of the promised land, and they had to go through so much trouble to reach that land. So it is just an outer explanation of actually the inner journey. The inner journey will take time. We will have enemies inside us, our own mental citizens of vices. We have to fight each enemy. It will take time. So continue with your meditative efforts, even if you do not feel any communion or any blessedness in some meditations. But know that if you are putting the effort, God will never, never, never let you down. And you're going to eventually meet him in your own self one day. And I wish and hope that day comes soon for all of us. Okay. In the 23rd stanza, our master is explaining, every spiritual seeker is advised to practice yoga, not in a haphazard or a depressed state of mind, but with great enthusiasm and perseverance. Every yogi should try joyfully to make his daily meditation deeper than the previous day's meditation. Again, the yogi should not be satisfied by deep meditation for 1 or 2 years, but should practice yoga with ever increasing intensity to the end of his life, and for incarnations if necessary. He should intensely meditate without concentrating on the fruits of his actions. So here we are. Sometimes we meditate for 6 months and say, oh, God has not come to me. Oh, I have not heard the sound of Om. And I have been putting so much time, energy and money into this. And I'm not gaining any experience. So I don't think this is working. Let me just go back to my worldly ways. No. He is saying practice it diligently. Not for 1 day, not for 2 days, not for 1 year, not for 2 years, till the end of your life, and more incarnations if necessary. Because this is the raft that you've got. You are in the ocean of existence. If you don't hold on to the raft or the boat that has come to save you, the Guru has come to save you, the technique of Kriya Yoga has come to save you, but you don't want to hold on to it, then Okay, keep swimming and keep getting tired in this ocean. Yeah, this is anant, means it is endless. And there's a beautiful thing that I read in Buddhist teachings. It said that human life, you've got the human body. Now, this is your chance to exit this samsara. Though think of it in such a way that there is this huge ocean and you're alone in that ocean and you're swimming, 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 endlessly swimming. You are completely tired and exhausted. And then suddenly you find a small raft just to put your head on. And the ocean is still there. And for a moment, you have this raft. Now, this raft is the combination of your human body, your guru, and your yearning for freedom. And you've got this in this lifetime. And if you let go of this raft, then the ocean will remain and you will remain still swimming and struggling. So, do you want to let go of this chance just like that? Do you want to waste this opportunity? It's because we forget the past and we don't know from where we have come. And that is why Guru comes to tell you, you are not this little body. Stop being so bothered about the such little petty things of this world. There are such greater matters of concern for you. You don't even know why you have come, and then I say, I want this, I want that, I want that. What is this? Wake up to the truth. Ask yourself, what do I really want? How will my heart and soul be, purified and blissful? And then yoga is the technique, yoga is the way, and we must practice it joyfully, willingly, enthusiastically, with great perseverance, as if, we should die trying, because this is the only way out. And Master is really, really helping each one of us individually. This brings us to shloka number 24. Sankalp prabhavan na kaman stayakva sarvan sheshata mansaivaindriya gramam viniyamya samantata. संकल्पों, योजनाओं द्वारा उत्पन्न सभी कामनाओं का निशेष रूप से त्याग कर केवल मन के द्वारा इंद्रियों, उनकी शक्तियों तथा सर्वत्र उपलब्ध विषयों के साथ उनके संपर्क को पूर्ण रूप से नियंत्रित करो. Relinquish without exception all longings born of sankalpas or plannings, and completely control surely with the mind the sensory organs, the sensory powers, and their contacts with the ubiquitous sense objects. So 2-3 things have been said here. He's saying, leave all longings for material objects here. So there are material objects around us, and there are certain things that we need for our daily existence. But are we thinking about that all the time is the question. Where is our mind? We have already been given certain basal things that we may have earned ourselves, and they are for our comfort. But are we too engrossed with them, or they are there to give us a position from where we can work with our mind and consciousness more, from which we can use them as the springboard for higher development? Our problem is we are so engrossed in mind and energy with the objects of this world that even when we go into our meditation, the mind is ruminating about those objects, those people, those situations, the plannings, the replannings, and all of that. Our mind is totally gone there. And here, what is Krishna saying? Leave all planning, leave all longing. Because unless you leave the lower, how will you catch the higher? And it is very, very important to understand, to know ask yourself what is higher for you and what is lower for you. This is a relative theme. And it's everything that gives you inner freedom, everything that gives you unconditional happiness in spite of the outer circumstances, that is going to take you, that is the higher. So even for a person, for a tamasic person who is very, very lazy, who does not do anything, even stealing is better, because at least he's activating his energy, he's using his mind. So he is going higher. Of course, he will have the entire karma thing will work, and then eventually he has to go into sattva. But it is relative, that's what I'm saying. So ask yourself, what is taking me to inner joy, to inner freedom, to more harmony, to more expansiveness? That you have to choose. And for that, you have to leave the longing and the planning for all the lower things of this world. This is a transactional reality. This appears to be true, but this is a dream. So, for example, if you have, if you are having a dream and you have won a lottery of $1 million and you are ecstatic about it, but then you wake up. Is that $1 million gained in the dream going to be of any use to you in your waking state? No, not at all. Therefore, when you truly awake into truth, then all the objects of this world will have zero value. And that is why Krishna is saying, don't put your mind and attention so much in them. Relinquish your attachment to them. And then he says, control your sense organs and then remove the contact of the sense organs with the sense objects. So in meditation, what do we do? How do we remove this contact? We close our eyes. When we close our eyes, automatically the visual objects of the sense and the power of vision, we create a barrier, and therefore that data does not go inside us. When we are doing Om technique of meditation, we tend to close our ears. So we are not allowing the sound data to enter through the sense organ of hearing. Then he said, then you should sit in a position, in a place which is neither very cold, nor very hot, nor too humid, so that the sense of touch does not keep on disturbing you. He also mentions that don't sit at a place where there are too many mosquitoes or ants, because they are going to be, poking you, and you have going to have this touch sensation or pain sensation. Again, your mind is going to come down into your body. So avoid these things. Then he says, avoid strong odors of fragrances, whether they are good odors of fragrances, whether they are pungent odors. Avoid any strong odors so that your sense of smell is not stimulated and you can take your energy and your prana inwards. Your intention has to eventually, by pratyahara, be interiorized. And therefore, it is important that this contact of the sense objects and the power of the senses, a barrier should be placed in between them by, again, closing the eyes, closing the ears, sitting at a quiet place, avoiding these strong smells, and so on and so forth. Also, another thing he adds in this shloka is, some people have the habit of keeping betel nut in their mouth. Some people also have the habit of keeping certain spices in their mouth, like cardamom or cinnamon or clove or something like that, they will keep in their mouth. Or even he has actually mentioned the word chewing gum. So do not keep anything in your mouth, even the littlest of thing, because your tongue will be stimulated. Again, it's the contact of the sense object and the sense organ. So don't do that. So trying to control your mind by controlling this contact, then you're in your mind. So now you have removed the sense contacts and you are in your mind, automatically you will be able to concentrate better. Now, if the thoughts that arise by sense contact will not arise as much. And when these thoughts don't arise, they do not recall more thoughts from the subconscious mind, which are associated with the memory of these sense contacts. So you see, we come to the point where the flame of meditation or the flame of soul perception is going to be stable. Starting from the senses, coming to the breath and the mind, and then reducing the number of thoughts and going beyond the state of thoughts, and that light then shines. So it is important to work with everything in your body, with your breath, with your sense organs, and so on. And slowly, step by step, you will be able to gain control over yourself. And that is exactly what Krishna says in shloka number 25. He says, Shane Shane Rupar Medha Buddhaya Jiti Grihataya Atma Sanstham Mana Kritva न किंचिदपि चिंतयेत। धैर्य युक्त अंतर ज्ञानात्मक विवेक के साथ मन को आत्मा में लीन रखकर योगी अपने मन को सभी विचारों से मुक्त करके धीरे धीरे शांति को प्राप्त करेगा। With the intuitive discrimination saturated in patience, with the mind absorbed in the soul, the yogi, freeing his mind from all thoughts, will by slow degrees attain tranquility. So slow degrees is important, and shanai shanai, as I said, slowly, step by step, you will progress. So it's not that overnight you will be come to the breathless state, the thoughtless state, and go into the state of samadhi. It is going to take time. Have patience. Just like as he was explaining the spiritual eye previously, in a previous shloka, Master explained that it takes deeper meditation to behold the astral spiritual eye at your in your in the area of the Agya chakra, and then it takes more patience and more meditation to stabilize the vision. And then it takes even more deeper meditation to be able to see the central 5-pointed white star. And then he says you need mastery to actually take your consciousness through that star. And this is not going to happen overnight. So we need to develop patience. And we can start practicing patience on a daily basis. We are so impatient. We order something on Amazon, then we are tracking it. When is it going to come? When is it going to come? Oh, it has reached, it has been dispatched, it has. The world is also programming us to be like that. We are so impatient with our children, we are impatient with our colleagues, we are impatient on the road. If we cannot practice patience at this, simple things, how much patience, perseverance is required to go into that inner life to fight those inner battles. So must try to practice patience. A very interesting way you can see people who cause the impatience out of you to burst forth. So there are many people, I'm sure everybody has some of them in their life that they cause you to be impatient. So next time, if you're getting irritable, if you're getting anxious and your anger is going to boil, so you tell yourself, this person is God sent. He is my teacher in patience. And because we have to develop this quality, patience is the shortest path to God. That is what has been said by the scriptures. Why? Because if we are able to be patient, then we can go easier towards chitta vritti nirodha, which is the state of freedom. And then patience is not mere waiting. It is the art of waiting with calmness. So let us develop this art. It's both an art and a science. And doing pranayams, doing Kriya Yoga helps us to develop patience. Having patience and perseverance helps us to go deeper into Kriya Yoga. It's like a cycle. And you have to feed it by your daily practice. You have to feed it by your alertness and awareness in your mind. How alert you are when your mind starts to become impatient. And a very interesting thing you must note is that whenever you get impatient, it does not feel comfortable. Then why do you want to be impatient? Only when you acknowledge the fact that being impatient is never feeling nice, it is never feeling comfortable. Why do I want to hold on to it? Therefore, I must go towards patience slowly and gradually. Patiently, I will practice all that has been taught to me. And then the promise of the scriptures will be automatically fulfilled. Okay. So I will read what Master has said on this shloka. He says, the yogi whose mind has been freed from external and internal distractions is then advised to guide his intuitive discrimination or buddhi gradually inwards to perceive the soul bliss, not permitting any form of mental wandering. No matter how often the yogi's mind is distracted during meditation, he should exercise great patience. By continuous daily effort, he will succeed in establishing his mind on the joy of the soul and will attain unshakable divine tranquility. So let's all, kind of pledge to be more patient. And even in the holy science, Sri Yukteswarji said that the tapasya for this age is patience. If we can be patient with every little thing through the day, then we will be patient with ourselves as we meditate. So coming to shloka number 26. Yato yato nischarati manaschanchalamasthiram ततस्ततो नियम्यै तदात्मन्येव वंशनीयत नयेत. जब जब यह चंचल एवं अस्थिर मन किसी भी कारण से भटकता है, योगी को उसे उन विकर्षणों से हटाकर आत्मा के पूर्ण नियंत्रण में ले आना चाहिए. Whenever the fickle and restless mind wanders away, for whatever reason, let the yogi withdraw it from those distractions and return it to the sole control of the self. Does this shloka sound familiar? Yes. We know that the mind runs here and there. We know it is very difficult to control our mind and thoughts. But yet the Gita says you must control every time, each time your thoughts start to wander, bring them back. Now, for all those who have been practicing meditation for some time, know how difficult it is sometimes. If you start practicing Hong Sau, if you start doing your Kriya Yoga, just within a few seconds, your mind will wander. And it is the beauty of these techniques is that it can help you to come back again. But you have to be alert. You can either go into fantasizing in your thought world. You say, okay, I'm sitting alone and now I can ruminate on my beautiful thoughts into my faculty of imagination. Let me just run away into those thoughts. No, Krishna is saying those are all distractions. They are taking you away from your goal. And therefore, do not engage with the thoughts that arise in your mind as you sit for meditation. Just acknowledge their presence and let them pass. They are like waves which will rise and they will fall. But you become the witness of them and stay away from them. As many times as the mind goes away, gently bring it back. As we meditate, we say, okay, come back to the body, come back to the breath, start watching the breath, focus at the spiritual eye, gaze is upwards. So every time your mind starts to go here and there, say, no. Oh, my mind, I will not engage with you. Oh, my mind, you cannot give me what I am looking for. So you have to tell your mind with firmness. And you have to be steadfast in your practice. You have to be patient with yourself and keep coming back to your own center. And that's what Master says. He says, no matter how many times restlessness invades the mind, the yogi should guide his thoughts towards self-realization. Mental restlessness during meditation causes unhappiness. Inner concentration on the soul produces unending joy. Now, this is an amazing spiritual principle that Master has talked about. Now, think about times in your life when you were very focused, you had a project to finish, you had a work to do, and at the end of the day, not only did your project get finished, your work was done, but you felt a sense of satisfaction. On the other hand, think of a day where you were just passing time and you didn't have any specific direction, you didn't know what to do. So at the end of the day, not only do you feel low and under and your energy is scattered and your mind is scattered, you're unhappy. So it's a simple fact that a focused mind is a happy mind and a scattered, restless mind is an unhappy mind. So try to focus attentively in whatever action you're doing, whatever job you're doing at hand, do that with full awareness, full attention, full presence. And same with meditation. When you are meditating with full attention, full alertness, full concentration. Why? Because it will give you happiness. We are looking for happiness. Focus and concentration will give us happiness. And therefore, we must put in the effort to be alert, awake, focused, one-pointed. And that is the definition of meditation given by Paramahansa Yogananda. Single-pointed concentration on God or one of his aspects. And of course, we know the 8 aspects of the infinite, of love, joy, peace, calmness, wisdom, light, sound of Om, and power. So focus on single-pointed concentration, and that when there is single-pointed concentration, you become the object of your concentration. So suppose you are meditating on love, then you yourself will melt in love. You will not only say, I am a loving person, you will say, I am love itself. And same for all other qualities. So we must be so concentrated that we become that object of meditation. We become godlike. We become that one Brahman. Okay. So just the last verse for the for today is shloka number 27. Prashanta manasam hyonam yoginam sukhamuttamam upaiti shantarajasam brahmabhutam kalmasham. वह योगी जिसने अपने मन को पूर्ण रूप से शांत कर लिया है तथा जिसने अपने आवेगों को नियंत्रित कर लिया है एवं उन्हें सभी दोषों से मुक्त कर लिया है और जो ब्रह्म के साथ एक है, वास्तव में उसने परमानंद को प्राप्त कर लिया है. The yogi who has completely calmed the mind and controlled the passions and freed them from all impurities and who is one with spirit, verily he has attained supreme blessedness. Do we want to attain supreme blessedness? Yes. So what do? Completely calm the mind, control the passions, free the chitta from impurities, and become one with spirit by yoga practice. So with that thought, we will end today's class and we will share the power of these teachings with souls everywhere. Let us pray together. Divine Mother, beloved Krishna, Thou art omnipresent. Thou art in all thy children. Manifest thy healing presence in all bodies, all minds, and all souls. Om. 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 Divine Mother, beloved Krishna, great Gurus, may thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of our devotion, and may we be able to awaken thy love in all true hearts. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.